You set foot on foreign soil. Only this land isn't ruled by any country or government. In this land we celebrate music. In this land we celebrate games. In this land we celebrate those who compose video game music. Welcome to the VGMbassy. Welcome and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the VGMbassy. This is a show centered around video game music and the amazing online community of fans and podcasters that enjoy it. My name's Ed, and on each episode I'll take the role of Prime VGM Minister and invite a guest VG Ambassador onto the show to share with us their own video game music culture. Or I may share a part of my culture on a solo show. Welcome, one and all, to episode 103, firmly in the triple digits of the old VGMbassy, as it were. And it's the dead of summer. It's the middle of July. We're recording this. It's been quite hot, quite humid, and I have with me, I don't know if you know her. She's been hanging out a little bit around the house, and I just figured I'd throw her on a couple shows here and there. My lovely wife, Myla.
I just come here and hang out sometimes.
Yeah. Miss Myla, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
How about you?
I am doing well. We've got a kind of a quickie show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Summer's it's rough, man. It's tough to get motivated. It's tough to do stuff.
It's hot.
You just kind of
want
to hang out in the AC and watch movies and play games and read books. And I don't know. How have you been spending your summer so far?
Binging some shows, trying to keep cool, trying to ignore kids that are screaming at video games.
Out of sheer boredom.
Yeah, because they're also bored.
Yeah. Indeed, it's been kind of a lazy summer so far, but we've got some family fun stuff coming up, and I think we'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Also, catch us at the end of August in Hartford, Connecticut, Retro World Expo. Justin from XVGM Radio and I will be putting on a panel involving some special NES music hardware with a live demonstration at the panel. So if you're planning on going to Retro World Expo this year, make sure to look out for the XVGM Radio / VGMbassy crossover NES music panel. It's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. We got some great stuff lined up for everybody. So we're talking today about summer drivin. Sorry.
We're talking today about summer driving games.
We are. I don't know. I thought this was a good idea. I think I probably even visited this topic a little bit on Pixel Tunes, and it's kind of a mainstay for a lot of VGM podcasts. But it's such a good idea. It's easy to source songs. There's so many of them. They're just songs from like driving games that just give you that summer vibe, or maybe even if it's not from a driving game, it just has that kind of a vibe where you want to roll around during the summer with the windows down, blasting these fun tunes. So you haven't heard them yet, so we'll get some first-time reactions from you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Some fun games to play, and a couple that I think you might be interested in too. So I think that'll be fun. What's your summer dream car? Like not necessarily one that you like a practical car, but a car that like when you picture yourself like cruising around in like 85-degree heat. What are you driving?
It would have to be something convertible. I really want it to be red because that's quintessential for summer and convertibles.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe like early 90s Corvette.
That's where I thought you were going, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was actually going for like more like the Stingray. But
I could really do that. Maybe even like a mid-80s Ford Mustang. Mm-hmm. I could do that.
Yeah. I used to be a big Mustang guy. I don't like them as much as I used to, but Same. I really like the late 60s fastbacks and stuff.
I love those.
Like the Mach 1s. Those are really cool.
Oh, love that.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Good. I feel like muscle cars are really cool summer driving cars too, because they just kind of exude that, like, I don't know, airiness inside. And a lot of them come in convertibles as well.
Yeah, I love those, and I really enjoyed as a kid going to like the car shows where they had the like the modified roadsters that had the cut tops.
Oh yeah, chop tops.
Yeah, that's it. Those are super cool. Those used to really remind me of having like a really awesome cruise night. So where I grew up in Bethel, they had them at the Sycamore restaurant, and you'd get to see a long line of them coming down the street. So hearing like the big open motors and like the rumbles of them, that was always really cool.
Yeah. And your dad's got a Harley too, so I'm sure there's a lot of motorcycling going on during the summertime as well. That's those are definitely seasonal vehicles.
Very much so up here. Very much.
Yep. All right, so driving games. I mean, I know you used to play like Need for Speed Underground,
Absolutely.
right? Anything else?
Oh my goodness. We played Need for Speed Underground with my brother. I've talked about it on the pod before. That we played the. It wasn't a car game necessarily, but the coin-op video game in my garage with the trucks.
Oh, Super Off-Road, yeah.
Yeah,
we just talked about that last time you were on.
Let's see, what else have I played before?
Did you play like Outrun or Super Hang-On or anything in the arcades?
I played Cruisin' in the arcade. Mm-hmm. There was one in the arcade, which I don't know if it actually exists or if this is in my imagination, but it had like a road that you could go upside down on, like a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah, I think we talked about that last time. It was like California Rush, I think, is the one
Potentially.
where you like drive into a theme park and you like drive around on this wooden roller coaster kind of a deal.
Yeah, it might have been that.
Yeah.
I was very young, and I think I remembered sitting on a lot of the video games in the arcade, but I don't know if we ever played them.
just like as a little kid, just sitting there and like
just
rocking the steering wheel back and forth.
You just rock the steering wheel, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm so cool. I'm playing a video game. I'm driving a car." But I don't know if I actually ever played them.
Yeah. Those were, I mean, the driving games are always the ones that kind of caught my attention, and I've always really, really been into driving and racing games. I'm sure you're well
I know
aware of
exactly which game you like.
What's that?
The Beetle racing game.
Oh, yeah, Beetle Adventure Racing for the N64, my only favorite N64 game out there. Plus, we'll talk about some of the other games as we go through this show. Some of these are games that I haven't played very much, and some of them are games that I'm very nostalgic for. So we'll talk about those, and there might be some surprises, some cool stuff along the way.
Ooh. I'm looking forward to that.
So we played Death Road to Canada together a couple times, right? That's
yes.
the one where we're kind of like a choose your own adventure / Oregon Trail kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So this game coming up first is a cross between a driving game and that same kind of a choose your own adventure. It's a recent release, came out this year. It's called Heading Out, and we're going to listen to a track called It's Electro Gal. And this was released as part of a music EP that came out alongside the game. A lot of the soundtracks on the game like actually play in a cassette tape, and you see like the cassette tape with the name of the song like in the top corner as you're listening to it. So they really focus a lot on the music in this game. This one was composed by Damian, Czajka, and Lukas Bonzzi, aka Serious Sim. So let's take a listen to It's Electro Gal. All right, that was Electro Gal from Heading Out, released on the PC in 2024, composed by Damian, Czajka, and Lukas Bonzzi, a.k.a. Serious Sim. They are a duo of composers. I believe that they're Polish. They wrote most of the music for this game. And the game's got a wide variety of tunes, everything from like classic rock to this kind of funky, jazzy stuff to a little bit of like techno and everything in there. Really cool soundtrack. The game is very music forward. What'd you think of this one?
I enjoyed it. It was really jazzy and fun to listen to. I would definitely roll down the windows and get that breeze in my hair type of feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I kind of wanted to open the show with it, because I felt like it's a good kind of easy listening, really get you in the kind of like the mood for everything. It doesn't really break a lot of ground as far as music goes for video games or for regular soundtracks, but it's just really like pleasant and easy to listen to. Some good horn sections, very well mixed, just a good time. And it's great for driving, and this game is also great for driving as well. I mentioned it's kind of a cross between like a game like Oregon Trail mixed with driving and racing, burnout kind of stuff. And that's what this is. You are a wanted man, and as far as the story goes, nobody knows why you're wanted, but you are driving down the highway across the Midwestern United States, and something is on your tail. The cops, the mafia, other dudes.
Someone.
Yeah. And so in between all of these driving segments where you're evading cops or racing against somebody or trying to run somebody off the road, you have this kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of a thing. And you've got your car condition, you've got the amount of fuel you have how much food you have, how focused you are, how much sleep you have. And so you have to manage all this stuff in between all these races. So like you come to a diner at the end of a race and you'll meet a woman there, and you have the option. She's kind of coming on to you. So you can go spend the night with her, and you might gain some morale, but wake up tired and lose some focus. Or you can go back to your boring hotel room and watch TV all night, and then you get a good night's sleep, but then you won't have the morale. So you might not have as much boost in your engine the next day. So that's kind of how the game works. It's interesting. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a good game. The preview for the game looked really good.
Yeah.
It was very comic book-like.
Yeah, it's got a very newsprint, black and white. It's like black and white with like hints of yellows and reds. Those are really the only other colors that are on there. And very, very stylish looking. And the racing is smooth. It's, 60 frames per second. The driving is fun. There are like little shortcuts you can take to kind of evade the cops and stuff. It's really like, Heartland style scenery, farms, and just long stretches of highway and everything. The driving is really not that difficult. I found it was much more in the way of the random events that you come across, and kind of managing your stuff is where the real challenge of the game comes in.
So you go ahead and like add parts and stuff to your car?
No, it's mostly just managing your fuel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the rest of the stuff is like you as yourself. And you make like moral choices along the way too. So there are like radio announcers. Every in-between race, there's also this radio segment where they're like talking about this like, mysterious driver who's racing across the country with everybody's like, all eyes are on you kind of. Okay. And this is like pre-internet stuff, so it's all just very kind of like organic, like you're becoming like a rural legend more or less. And the choices you make result in those reports being like, oh, he's a vigilante, or he's everybody's savior, or he's a drug dealer that the cops need to stop. So it's really the public opinion of you differs depending on which choices you make in a lot of these. Yeah, but these choices you could make a choice that makes you more evil in the public eye, but benefits you personally, so you have more fuel. Like you can steal fuel from a gas station and hold it up, which means you have more fuel to drive down the highway further without risking running out. But they're also going to report on the news that you, as
you held up
this mysterious racer, held up a gas station, and are you really as good as everybody thinks? So it's a cool kind of it's different every time you play. If you get caught, if you run out of fuel, etc., your game ends. It's permadeath, but then you get to start over again fresh. And scenarios that you've already seen in the previous games, it'll now display on the screen, like what the outcome will be. What you'll gain 5 of this and lose 3 of this.
Oh,
okay. Where beforehand it was kind of like a toss-up. You just kind of have to feel your way around it. So you do have kind of a memory of your past life, even though you're starting fresh from the original. So.
Oh, I like the way that they do that. They add in sort of your moral compass, if you will.
Yeah, so you're not just kind of like, at the whim of the randomness the entire time. You are gaining experience and kind of learning more about how to play the game as you go.
I like the way that they did that. That's cool.
Yeah. So, game worth checking out for sure. Like I said, just came out not too long ago. We just watched a trailer, and I think I did remember seeing the PlayStation and Xbox logos.
I didn't see it. I wasn't looking.
So probably out on some of the consoles, maybe even Switch. I will list it in the show notes before we put the actual show out. So, recommend it. It's fun. I got to get back into it. I played a couple of rounds and had a blast and got distracted with other things. So we will visit more of that in the future, I'm sure. Next one coming up is a game I haven't played much, but I've watched a lot of YouTubers play, and the title is very apropos for our show. It's called My Summer Car.
Ooh.
And it's another, I think it's Finnish or Polish. It's a lot of Eastern European stuff going on right now, but it's a game about building your own car and kind of existing in this little corner of the world and racing against other people and kind of earning. It's like a slice of life kind of game, but all centered around this car called the Satsuma, which you kind of build from the ground up into whatever kind of vehicle you want.
Doesn't that mean orange?
Does it mean orange?
I believe Satsuma is an orange.
Oh, interesting. Okay. The car is orange when you get it, so maybe that's why they call it that. Let's look it up while we listen.
Let's fact check.
Yeah, we're going to listen to a song called Life Race, and this originally came out in 2016, composed by NinjaBaka. All right, that was Life Race from My Summer Car, released way back in 2016, composed by NinjaBaka, who is a Finnish composer. We did verify that in between songs. I'm pretty sure this game is Finnish as well. And again, I wanted to start the show off with some nice, relaxing, kind of groovy tunes to kind of ease you into... This is like driving through the neighborhood to get onto the highway before you do your real cruising.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
You don't want to
just... warm the engine up, even though it's like 90 degrees out, but you can't just drive it cold.
No, you can't just flip on Metallica out of the driveway.
Right. Exactly. I don't think we're getting Metallica heavy on this show, but...
No. But still, you can't just...
Yeah. No, you got to start off with, like, Alice in Chains or Temple of the Dog, like we were just talking about
Exactly.
earlier.
Temple of the Dog, so good.
Some old school grunge before you get into the heavy metal.
Right.
Yeah.
You're really not going that heavy when you're pulling out of the driveway.
No.
No one does that.
Mm-mm.
And if you do, you're wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. No, but I do like this one. Again, very easy listening kind of stuff. It's got like a techno feel, but the tone and the pacing is much more chill. Yeah. Chill step, I think it's now called. It was probably not called that when the song was written 8 years ago or 9 years ago, but
that's a thing?
Nowadays, yeah, if you look up chill step, it's music that's very similar to this.
I was going to say you just coined that, but...
No, it's a genre.
It's a thing.
Relatively new genre, but...
All right.
Yeah, it's got this vibe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is a vibe, for sure. My Summer Car is kind of a vibe, too. Very much like we're starting off this show. The game starts off very
with a chill
slow.
vibe.
I don't know if it's a chill vibe, but it's a slow vibe. Like you inherit like a shell of a car called the Satsuma, which you did verify.
It is a Mandarin cross.
Mandarin orange, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the car's named after a fruit.
Yeah.
And it's just this little European sedan, and it's got nothing in it, and you essentially have to do menial jobs around the world that you're in, cleaning septic, picking up trash out of the gutters, I think cleaning gutters on roofs and stuff. So there are like, a bunch of like tasks that nobody wants to do, but you earn money, and you put that money into buying parts, getting drunk, sometimes getting drunk and then putting your car together, which is always a fun time.
Does it make the screen wobble?
It does make the screen wobble. Yeah.
That's not a game part I want to play.
No, you don't have to necessarily drink. It's an optional thing.
That's good.
Yeah. However, the car in the game is extremely customizable. Like, if there's a part in a car in real life, it's a part in the game. Like, you have to basically buy everything and put it all together. Shocks, struts, sway bars, engine, manifold, intakes, mufflers, you name it, it's all in there. There are different levels and upgradability, and you have to actually buy tools, like different ratchets for different screws. You have to buy the different screws to put the thing. It's literally like putting a car together.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then when you drive it, too, it's a stick shift. So you've got to work the clutch and the stick, and you actually have to choke the engine. It's like a classic 60s, 70s car with all the faults and advantages that come therein. So, but you build this car and you start turning it into kind of a beast, and then you can take it on races in the game and earn some money and use that to make your car even better, upgrade your living conditions. It's fun. It's like, again, like a little slice of life. It all takes place during the course of one summer. That's why it's called My Summer Car, and you do your thing.
And then you go in a rally race.
Yeah.
And hopefully not drive into a tree.
Yeah, we just watched a trailer where the guy just kind of smacked
head first into a tree.
Yeah, and you do get damage, and parts do fall off of the car, so you have to pick everything back up and repair your stuff, and it all costs money. It's just like real life.
That sounds great, and also terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, it's fun to do in a video game, but if it ever happened to you in real life, you'd be like, not for me. Sorry.
Guess it depends on your level of likability for cars.
Yeah. Well, you used to have a project car.
Yeah, and then I had kids.
Right. But your project car was fun.
I loved it.
It was very loud.
It was.
Was it a 96?
It was a 96 Honda Civic EX.
Yeah, standard giant fart can on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. I mean, I always knew when we were dating, I always knew when you were close to my house in the neighborhood because I could hear you come all the way down the hill.
I know, but I tried to be quiet.
It didn't work. But I had a good 5-minute warning when you were on your way in.
Not that long.
Let's move away from these life sims that we've kind of been talking about, get into something super, super arcadey. This one is an absolute blast to play. This is just the pick up and get right on the highway kind of game. So we're getting into
we're on the on-ramp.
The more fast-paced stuff. This is Shiny World, which is one of the original tracks from Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. This came out on the arcade, came out on Windows, Xbox, PS2, and PSP back in 2006, composed by Hiroshi Kawaguchi, who wrote the original Outrun songs. They are remade in this game, but also Yasuhiro Takagi, Fumio Ito, and Richard Jacques did a couple tunes too. Let's listen to Shiny World. shiny world from Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, released in the arcade, Windows, Xbox, PS2, and PSP in 2006, composed by Hiroshi Kawaguchi, Yasuhiro Takagi, Fumio Ito, and Richard Jacques. Not sure who did the composition on this particular one, but I picked this one because I loved that bass line. It's frenetic.
That's a crazy bass line.
Yeah. Speaking of your dad and motorcycles, before your dad also plays bass, I was like, show the song to your dad, make him play it.
And I said, I don't know if he's
rip his
capable.
fingers off. Yeah, no, it's it's a fairly standard pattern, but I think just the speed of it and the fact that it's the entire song is like one big bass solo over the under the guitar solo. It feels like it would be a stamina drainer for sure.
Absolutely. There's no way he could carry that for 3 minutes.
No, but cool tune.
Yeah, it was very good.
We were watching some footage of the game from an unrelated video while we were listening to the song, and the song matches like the pace and the tone of the game really well. It feels like it just feels right at home in the game.
I enjoyed the passenger woman.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is one of my favorite driving games, and I don't play it nearly as much as I should, but it's just...
Ed feels obligated to play this game.
It's so much fun, though. Like, it really, really is. And it works great with my driving wheel as well. It's a lot of fun to play. It feels a lot like the arcade version. But the Xbox version also displays widescreen at 720p, which is really cool if you have the regular component cables for it. It's one of the first games that came out to ever have like a true HD resolution. So it looks cool. Yeah, it looks really good even on, modern TV screens. Most Xbox games are only like 4:3 letterbox stuff. Yeah, but super smooth. It's got that regular Outrun gameplay where you are driving through tropical locations and your choice of Ferrari. You've got a selection of several comely ladies that you can put in the passenger seats, and it's fun because depending on your performance on the track, she will give you like little kisses and little hearts. They'll give you like a score boost, or she'll like berate you if you keep crashing into stuff. And then there's a challenge mode outside of the standard kind of Outrun style race mode. The challenge mode is you're playing the same tracks, but she will say like drift between these cars, and you have to like kind of do what she says, and then she'll give you a grade after every single instance. So sometimes it'll be
Can you win S tier?
Yeah.
My god.
You can get S+, I think.
Oh my gosh. That's my favorite tier.
Yeah, and you get a little like emoji face depending on your tier, from a very angry, sad emoji to the heart eyes emoji.
Oh my gosh, winning.
Yep. It's fun. It is a lot of fun. Lots of replayability too, because all the cars kind of behave a little bit differently, and there's a whole bunch of different challenges and kind of goals in the game, like before achievements were a thing, but they have that kind of a style of accomplishment system where you take your time and kind of 100% it.
It sounds like a really fun game. It looks fun.
A recommended play, and it absolutely has that summer vibe. It's like the summer driving game, for sure. Recommended, for sure. And they just, not an official release, but there's a patch for the PC version that just came out. You can find the PC version on like myabandonware.com. It's really easy to download. And there's a patch for it which makes it more compatible with modern gaming screens and stuff, so you can play, like, if you have an ultra-wide monitor, you can patch in support to get super high resolution graphics and stuff.
Very helpful. Make
your stuff a little shinier, speaking of shiny world. But what we're coming up on is not so shiny. Very muddy. Lots of dirt in SnowRunner. Can't pick a driving game.
It has to be there.
It has to be there. And there are some summer locations.
There are.
In SnowRunner. And I picked a song from one of the summer locations. I wasn't going to pick a winter location because
that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the DLC maps. So in SnowRunner, Tennessee is a map that takes place in and around this kind of off-road racing setup. It's like an area of Tennessee, like in the deserty area, where they've set up these races. And you're kind of helping put everything together to get the races underway. So while you're playing, you can actually test out the tracks. They give you a couple of racing trucks that you can choose, and you can get best times on these tracks to kind of test them out to make sure that they're ready for the real racers. And a couple of them are multiplayer, which is fun too. There are 5 different racing songs in this area, all of which are a bit more high energy than the normal SnowRunner tunes. Because the SnowRunner stuff is like, it's rock, but it's like really, I don't know, it's not rock that I've ever heard before. It's like ambient rock. It's like
so
really
relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like electric guitars and like rock drum kit, but it's so slow.
It's so slow.
Yeah.
And like I could sleep.
Yeah, no, it's really good stuff. It's just it's not energetic at all. But these race tracks are cool because it's the same composers, so it's the same kind of quality that you get from the rest of the music, but at a little more amped up. So we're going to listen to Race 5 from Tennessee. This was released on SnowRunner. Originally came out in 2020. It's on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. This particular track is composed by Steve Militz. A group called Citrus Prana were the composers of the original map packs that came with the game. All right. Very different tone for the show. That was Race 5 from the Tennessee map from SnowRunner, one of my favorite games of all time, originally released in 2020 on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. This one was composed by Steve Militz. I love this track. I love actually all the racetrack tracks in this game. They're all just really like hard southern rock, blood pumping kind of tunes, and it's such a refreshing change from the very slow ambient tunes that you usually listen to in this game.
I liked it. I'm not a huge country rock fan at all, but that was it was foot tapping goodness.
Yeah, I think I don't mind country without the lyrics. I think there's something about
the twanginess of people's voices when
not
they
even
sing
the
over
voices,
that.
just like I can't identify with the subject matter very much, and so it doesn't really just like appeal to me. I don't know, but
I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think
me.
this is as much country as it is like southern rock. This is like dirty southern rock, which I think is really cool. The really, really heavy like snare hits and the much lower kind of almost like it feels like a steel guitar through a distortion pedal. I don't know. Just sounds good to me.
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Super fun game. This was, Tennessee was released as one of the DLC maps. There's more DLC content for the game than there is actual game content at this point. It's one of those games where they just keep updating it forever and ever and ever. Came out like in the middle of COVID lockdown in 2020, and I kind of was desperate for something to play when I was working from home. And
both you and Logan have played this game endlessly.
Yeah. I didn't realize he played it as much as I thought he did, so he must be playing it when I'm at work. He's
played it quite a bit. Yeah. He got into it a little bit a couple months ago and then fell back out.
Okay. I'm well on my way towards, 100%ing everything. I did stop playing for quite a long time. I just got back into it after looking at my Steam page and realizing I hadn't played it since November of last year.
Oh, that is a while.
Yeah, and we're in June or July right now, so it's been, good 8 months. So I was like, they just released a new map, and I kind of want to get back into it, and realized that I was like 3 maps behind, so...
that is a lot.
Back into it. I just beat the one that I had been working on in November, and just kind of starting off on this new one and having a blast. It's lots of fun. I do everything in the map before I move on to the next one, so 100%, hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of stuff. Tennessee is actually the only one I can't 100% because some of the races are multiplayer only.
Oh.
So you can have somebody join your game instance, and then you have to do a multiplayer race in order to... Doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you just have to do it multiplayer in order to get credit for that quote-unquote mission.
Well, that makes sense.
So I've been trying to get Logan to play with me for a while, and...
Shockingly,
he's rather play Roblox, so... Maybe I'll have you use Logan's computer at some point. We'll just ship him off somewhere.
I'll just learn how to
We'll wait till he's
play.
Like in the shower.
Yes.
And then you can get on
and
there.
then I'll be like, I know how to play this game.
It's driving. It's gas and brake and directions. It's not really that hard.
But not on a controller.
You can play on a controller.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
I use a controller exclusively for this game. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm in.
Yeah. And then you just take a couple of trucks and race around the track and you have some fun. But the rest of the game, it's been called the Dark Souls of driving games. It is absolutely brutal. There are times where you will drive, for half an hour, 45 minutes out into the wilderness to pick up some pallets of wood or something, and you hit a rock the wrong way and your truck tumbles over and you are done.
You've died.
And then you have to either just recover your truck back to the garage and start over again, or take another truck out there and try to recover that truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and rescue it and kind of winch it back upright. So there are some times where a simple mistake can mean a lot of work.
It sounds to me like a very frustrating game, and I don't think I personally would enjoy it.
It used to be for me. I mean, I've played it so much now that I can easily spot places where, I'm going to tip there.
Right,
or, I'm just starting to go over. I need to stop.
Right.
I need to swing my camera around and quickly attach my winch to a tree so I don't topple all the way over. In some instances, you just start tipping, you don't realize it, and there's nothing around to winch, and you're screwed. But I think if there's a preventable accident, I can prevent it 99% of the time at this point, just from playing it so much. So I don't really have those moments of frustration. It's just a matter of picking which truck I feel is best, outfitting it with the right tires and engine and stuff, and getting out there and doing the work. And it's fun. It's just super cathartic, I think, because aside from those instances where you do, fall over or get stuck in the mud and can't get out and lose that time, the rest of it's just like, you're just driving. You're looking at this gorgeous rural scenery.
It is a really, really well done.
You're playing with these like super awesome trucks that are just genuinely fun to drive.
Yeah.
You just veg out. It's a very zen kind of game for the most part once you get the hang of it. So I've been recommending it to a lot of friends, and they all kind of like look at me with their eyebrows raised, and I'm like, come on, guys, like just try it out. You really like it.
From a person who's only watched it, looking at it, it's a beautifully done game. It's very, very realistic.
Yeah.
The attention to detail that they've put into this game is incredible. The snow looks real. The mud is real. The river water is incredible.
It all deforms in real time.
It's beautiful.
You leave tracks in the mud and they stay there.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful.
And it does affect, how you drive through it on subsequent tries. I do recommend it, and if folks are interested in even trying it, it's cross-platform. I can jump into your multiplayer and help you out or show you how to drive. I would love to do that. I would love to share this part of my culture with you guys, for sure. So give it a shot. I think you'll enjoy it. The base game is pretty cheap right now, and there's like hundreds of hours even in that base game. So this is my advertisement and begging to you to try SnowRunner.
Steam Summer Sale.
Which is over, unfortunately.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I think it ended today or yesterday as of this recording, the 11th. So
sorry, guys. I tried.
Oh, well. But speaking of like beautiful games and games as art, our next game is called Art of Rally. We've hit so many different kinds of racing on this episode so far. So this is it's a rally game, but it's also very stylistic. The graphics are kind of simple and beautiful. It's all kind of like an isometric point of view. It has a huge soundtrack, all by one artist, and they're all kind of like late 90s, early 2000s PlayStation synthwave techno inspired kind of music. So this one's a dance song called Go Crazy from Art of Rally. This came out on everything, including mobile, back in 2020, composed by Slava Korostov. Go Crazy from Art of Rally, released in 2020 and composed by Slava Korostov. We are very Eurocentric episode today. Even aside from Outrun, which was developed in Japan, even SnowRunner, even though the stage was Tennessee, it still was developed by European developers. So it's pretty funny. Anyways, this is a really good soundtrack, even if you're not interested in the game itself. If you like this music, if you like just kind of really well-produced electronic music that doesn't go super hard and is just kind of synth-wavy like this, check out the Art of Rally soundtrack on Bandcamp, because it's 30 different tracks or something, all really good quality, all sound very similar to this. It's definitely worth a listen. It's been one of my favorite soundtracks for a while now.
It was chill, but also really fun to listen to.
Yeah, I like the bass line. I think that's my favorite. Kind of sets it a little bit apart from a lot of the other synthwave that's out there. It had a little kind of like edge to it, like a little "hello, here I am, listen to me" bass line.
A little more of a bassy vibe than I think most synth like that is. I agree with you.
It's giving vaporwave.
It's giving cringe.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Oh man, this game is cool. It really distills Rally down to like the very, very basics. Very simple polygon graphics. The cars are based on real life cars, but don't have the licenses, so they're just called something very similar to what they would have been called. But there are a ton of them. It kind of gives you the history of Rally as you go throughout the game. So you start with the real classics, like the Group A stuff from the very beginning, the mid-60s, etc. Then you get into Group B, and then Group 1 and 2. As the cars get bigger and a little more modern and a little bit faster, it starts kind of explaining how the automotive industry started becoming kind of enveloped into Rally, where before it was just amateurs kind of modifying existing cars into rally cars. Now it becomes a much more kind of money-driven thing where the auto manufacturers themselves are making their own rally cars as a way of kind of like advertising how well their cars perform.
Oh my gosh, capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. The commercialization of sports is no surprise to anybody at all.
None.
But it's still a very well-loved sport.
Very much.
Especially in Europe. And this game does a great job. It really respects Rally. You learn something along the way, too, while playing the game, which I thought was cool.
I really enjoyed watching the clips that we were checking out during the listen, and it was cute.
Yeah, no, it is kind of a cute game. Like, it's got a kind of a chibi look to it almost.
Yeah, it was really cute, and I thought that the little figures that they used in place of people were almost Lego-like, and it gave me a very big Lego look and feel to it.
Yeah.
Without actually being Lego. I think it was...
Yeah, they're kind of like almost like wooden pegs. Oh, with the...
Oh, yeah. It was like the little people from our childhood.
Yeah, I don't remember what they were called, but those were also like European...
Oh, Playmobil.
Playmobil, that's what it was.
Yeah, sort of like that.
Yeah,
except those had arms and legs.
Yeah, but these are like, cylinders with just spheres for heads, and they would like, stand in the middle of the track and kind of like dart from side to side as your rally car kind of barreled through the crowds.
Yeah, it's very cute to look at, super aesthetic. I really liked the feel of watching this.
Yeah,
it's probably really fun to play.
It is fun to play, and the synthwave / vaporwave / dance soundtrack fits really, really well with the visuals.
Yeah.
Too. It's not heavy, complex music, and it's not heavy, complex visuals. It's like the actual antithesis of SnowRunner.
No, it really was.
In terms of music, graphics, gameplay.
It was still really, really nice to watch and look at. Nothing detracted from having less graphics.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And it just does feel like a really good rally racing game. I think there's a sequel coming out pretty soon, so keep your eyes open for that. And if you enjoy the music, probably be another cool soundtrack to accompany it. So I'm looking forward to that just as much as I am the game at this point. Want to move on to our last track of the show?
Yeah, let's check this one out. We'll see how much longer we can handle this hot air blowing through our car.
Told you to turn the AC on.
Well, we're supposed to be driving and getting our summer...
We're getting the full summer experience?
The full summer experience here, okay?
That's fine. Just don't turn the heat on.
Oh, no. You won't catch me doing that in 85-degree weather.
That's totally fine. All right. So, the last track we're going to listen to is a game that I've currently been obsessed with and playing quite a bit. It's a mobile game called Hill Climb Racing 2, and I got into it originally because the composer for the game is Filippo Vicarelli, who co-wrote the soundtrack for Vampire Survivors, and I love the Vampire Survivors soundtrack. And I was like, let's check out what else he did. And Hill Climb Racing 2 is free on mobile, so I was like, hey, I'll download it and check it out. Really enjoyed the soundtrack. He's a really good composer, so I was really happy with what I was hearing. We're going to listen to a track called Backwater Bog from the game. This originally came out in 2016. All right, that was Backwater Bog from Hill Climb Racing 2, released on iOS and Android in 2016, composed by Filippo Vicarelli. And I don't know, I feel like, you get on the highway, you do your summer driving, you have your joyride, and then you end the night at a bar, playing some blues, listening to some bluegrass, swigging a few shandies. What do you drink in the summertime?
A whiskey on the
shandy.
rocks.
Get a gin and tonic with lime. It's my fave.
A beer.
Yeah, you just do your thing.
Yeah.
And you have a good time. I like this one. It really kind of shows off the versatility of Vicarelli because it doesn't sound anything like any of the stuff from Vampire Survivors.
Absolutely not.
A lot of that stuff he does like orchestral stuff, he does rock, he does like some dancey stuff. Like you name a genre and he's like, yeah, I'll do it and I'll do it well. So yeah, it's funny because, I really got into Vampire Survivors and then as I kept playing, I'm like, wow, this music is really, really good. It's funny when you start playing a video game that you really like and then you're like, oh, this music is stuff that I would listen to outside of the video game too. It's like the perfect ice cream sandwich.
I love ice cream in the summer.
I know, me too. Although with this game, Hill Climb Racing 2, I'm normally just play it on my iPad, so I don't have the volume up very loud because it's just going to annoy everybody in the house. So I don't hear a lot of the music, but I like kind of listening to the soundtrack on its own. You play your games super quiet. You don't even have the volume up at all, right?
Never. I don't know what the music on my games sound like.
Do you play any action-y kind of games on your phone, or is it just mostly puzzle games?
It's puzzles.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any action games.
No driving games? No driving puzzle games?
I'm looking currently. I know none.
I'm playing a game called Chrome Valley where you fix cars by doing puzzles, so that's car-related.
That is car-related. I don't even have car games.
Jeez, no matter what I do, there's cars in it. Why? What's wrong with me?
Maybe you're just...
I can't even change my own oil.
I know. Even I can do that.
I know.
Well, maybe not on this car, but...
I should probably just buy a 16-wheel truck. Just go driving up and down the mountains of Hamden.
The mountains of Hamden are very, very old mountains.
The very, very tail end of the Appalachian chain.
The super oldest mountains in the whole U.S.
Mountains that are only mountains because they, meet the mountain threshold by, 3 feet.
Yeah. They were mountains, millions of years ago.
Just big hills, basically, we have around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's it. That's the show. That was fun. I just wanted to pick some cool summer things to listen to.
Yeah. We made it to our destination.
We're having some drinks at the bar, listening to some blues.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
We got some good fans, some good drinks.
Drove some cool cars.
We did drive some really cool cars.
Did you have any favorite games or tunes from this episode?
I really enjoyed Go Crazy from Art of Rally. Yeah. I really, really liked that. That was probably my favorite.
Cool.
And then
I can throw that in the car. We can start listening to that soundtrack when we drive around.
That would be fantastic. I'd like to listen to the rest of that.
Cool.
And from my summer car.
Cool.
Which did you like?
I like them all because I did pick them all.
I know you did, but which one out of these 6 is your favorite?
Oh, I think of all of them, I think my favorite actually is Go Crazy from Art of Rally as well.
Oh my gosh.
I think we're both on the same page there.
We're like the same person. It's like we've known each other for 20 years.
I mean, we do have some music in common that we listen to.
Yeah, we do.
But I do also really like It's Electro Gal from Heading Out.
I knew you were going to pick that. I really had a feeling.
Yeah, that's a great track. And like I said, it was a great intro track for this show, and that's a good soundtrack everybody should check out as well. I'd like to know what you guys listen to in the summer. Do you guys listen to different music in the summer than you listen to in the winter? I know some people go crazy over horror games and Halloween time around October and stuff, but does your gaming habits or music habits change in the summer versus your
Oh, that's
rest
a great
of the year?
question.
Yeah.
I know what I like to watch differs by time of year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with music. I definitely listen to more EDM, in the spring and summer.
I feel like people probably do that. I don't really change up my musical tastes at all during the year, nor the games that I play, nor the things that I watch. So it always interests me when people do that kind of thing.
I think it's a feeling of big and bright. And I feel like summer is big and bright.
Yeah.
And then as the days get shorter and cooler, it's more like, well, it's time to put on 9 Inch Nails again.
Listen to the darker seasonally affected stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Time for my dark depression days versus my brighter depression days.
I just listen to 9 Inch Nails all year long, so.
Well, I mean, I do that when I'm feeling drab. So if there's a continuous sets of cloudy days, then I might put it on.
Makes sense.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music is definitely that way for me.
Very, very interesting. Well, thank you for being on the show with me.
Thanks for having me.
Always. Yeah, this was originally going to be a solo show, but then I was like, you know what? This is kind of a light, fun show, and I think I can introduce you to music for the first time, and we'll have plenty to talk about. And we did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Cool. I'd love to have you on more shows in the future.
I live here, so feel free to invite me.
Just to grab you and throw you down the stairs shove a microphone in your face.
You could do that. Or you could be like, hey, lady that lives here, this microphone is for you. Come downstairs. Bye.
Downstairs. We're going to talk about real-time strategy games.
And I'm going to be like, I don't know what that even means.
I hope you've memorized all of the dialogue from Shining Force 3.
Okay. I don't even know what that is. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, just put you on the spot. No, but Summer Driving Games is fun and cool, and as always, thank you, everyone, for listening. I'd like to thank Adara J for the art for the podcast, and Trevin Hughes, of course, for the awesome VGMbassy theme song, as well as all of our lovely Patreon patrons. You can check out our Patreon by heading over to patreon.com/thevgmbassy. Check out our tiers and all the cool things that you can experience as part of the VGMbassy Patreon crew. I'd like to thank all of my Patreon folks at the end of each episode by name, starting with our tourist level, Cameron Childs and the Phantom Meyer, our VGMbassy tier periodical, Chris Murray, Claire Myers, Gannon11, Keeglyph, Kyle Kroll, The Dyad, and Professor Tom, our audio attaché members Cameron Worma, Carlito from the Heroes 3 podcast, Muddle Madness, and Robin Purnell from Rhythm and Pixels, as well as Scott McElhone and our special agent tier, Ryan Steele. You can find us on Spotify, you can find us on iTunes, you can find us on iHeartRadio. We just got accepted into the iHeartRadio podcast network, so that's pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can also find us on YouTube at just search for the VGMbassy on YouTube and you'll see all the videos. You can watch our podcast in video form, and I like that a lot because you can do the text transcription and you can read what we're saying, like subtitles, which I thought was really cool. And you can also head over to the VGMbassy.com, and there you can find a widget for the Discord on the side of the screen. Join the Discord, come hang out with awesome folks. If you become a Patreon member, you also get instant access to the Patreon Lounge, which is kind of an exclusive members-only area of our public VGMbassy Discord.
That's where the cool people hang out.
It is where the cool people hang out. Lots of cool people are in there, and we do super secret things that nobody else knows about, as well as get asked super special questions every month for our embassy exclusive show, which comes out at the end of every month.
Like I said, that's where the cool people hang out.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not in there, so I guess you're not cool.
I'm not cool.
You got to start donating to my show.
I live here. That's the donation
That's
that
fair.
you get.
You're not even on Discord, so
no,
you wouldn't be on there anyway.
Exactly.
Anyways, thanks everyone for listening. We will be back in another 2 weeks, me and Joe and Todd for Embassy Exclusive, and of course at the middle of next month, another VGMbassy. So until then, keep listening to Awesome VGM. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Totally fine. So, wow.
That was cute. Throwback.
Throwback to what?
Throwback to your voice cracking.
Oh, throwback to 13-year-old Ed.
Back in the summer of 1990.
Okay.